Hi, I'm Martin McGrath from Financial Edge Group. We specialise in helping people get themselves set up for retirement. Today I want to talk to you about the 3 biggest mistakes that we commonly see people make. Either people out in the world or people who come to us for advice. And they are 1, not understanding their options. The amount of times that I sit down with someone, speak about what they could do, what they should do, how does super work, all that kind of stuff, they're going to go, whoa, I didn't even know this. I wish I knew this years ago. I would have done a lot of things differently. And that's because we don't know what we don't know, quite simply. So the more you understand your options, the easier it is to make the right decision. I'm a big believer in education. That's why I do these videos. But it's important to understand your options. There's lots of things I don't know in lots of fields. So I go and speak to an expert about them to help me understand my options and come to a decision. And that's what I encourage people to do with their retirement. Even if you don't engage a full-time financial advisor to help you do everything with it, at least reviewing some stuff, having an initial sit down will help you understand your options and allow you to avoid some silly mistakes. Because often people say, I wish I knew that, I would have done things differently, but I just didn't know. So it's important to understand your options. Point number 2, particularly comes up more often than I'd like, is just not trusting the super system. Oh, I'm not going to put money into super. I don't really know how it works. I don't know when I can get it. I don't know what it's invested in. I'll just leave it in the bank, not kind of trusting what it is. Now, the way that super is set up, it's a big misconception, is that super's just a tax vehicle. It's just a tax environment. Anything you can invest in your own name, you can typically invest in inside a super. That's money in the bank, it's shares, it's property, it's residential property, it's commercial property. Now, even if it's crypto, you can invest in your super fund. So the excuse of, I don't trust super, I don't want to put it in there, I don't like the way it's invested, is not an excuse you can no longer use. That's how super works. What it means is that you just pay less tax on the way in, you pay less tax every year it's in there, and typically it's tax-free in retirement. So definitely using super is a way to accelerate your wealth, and it's important that you be able to trust it. It might be that you change your super fund to get more transparency so you can trust it. And that's the important bit, is that myself, I wouldn't put money into something I didn't trust, but you should then spend the time to figure out how you can trust it, because it's going to make your wealth creation strategy and your retirement strategy work a hell of a lot better for you. Point number 3 is not focusing on the big picture. A lot of people find, well, I just do this short little win now. I'll make a decision now that pays off next month, which is putting some money off to reduce the mortgage next month. Or the share market's fallen by a little bit, I'll change my super now. But what's going to be more important for you for the long term, for the next few years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? And that might be that you keep it invested in a higher risk portfolio so that we know over the long term, we're going to get more money from shares and property over the next 20 years than we are from cash. So don't make that change in the short term, because you're going to penalize yourself in the long term. And likewise, maybe go, no, maybe today's not the right day to buy shares, but someday it will be, rather than leaving the money in cash. So focusing on that long term, understanding where you're going, is how you're going to get the big payoff in the long run. So whether that's buying the right asset, moving the money in the right place, knowing that super doesn't sound that exciting, but in the long run, it's going to pay off substantially to get yourself set up for retirement. You want to make sure your day-to-day is looked after and you've got your money for next month's groceries, all that kind of stuff, definitely. I'm not saying don't ignore the short term, but don't focus solely on the long term. Because all of a sudden you wake up after a number of years and realize you haven't set yourself up in the way that you'd really want to. Hopefully that helps. They're the 3 biggest mistakes that we see with the clients we work with and commonly in the industry. If you've got any questions about those, or if you've got any other mistakes that you think you've made or others make, feel free to comment, and more than happy to talk to you and reach out to us.